Hey, welcome everyone. So glad that you could join me today. I want to talk about something that's been on my mind recently. That's the cocktail party effect. Now, I know what you're thinking, Tom. What the hell's a cocktail party effect? Well, let me explain. You see, the cocktail party effect is a phenomenon. When you're at a party, you're surrounded by people, all talking and drinking, but somehow you're able to focus on just one conversation. It's like a superpower, but without the spandex and the cape. But here's the thing. The cocktail party effect only works if the conversation you're focusing on is actually worth listening to. I mean, let's be real. If it's some schmuck talking about a dream they had or what their rising sign is, I'm out. And what about these people who use cocktail party effect to make themselves seem a little more interesting? It's like the guy that shows up to the party with a guitar. He puts the capo on the second fret. You know what's coming. Hits that chord. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. No one cares, man. No one cares. But here's the real kicker. According to some studies, the cocktail party effect is actually more effective when you're drunk. Yeah, that's right. Alcohol not only makes you more sociable, it can also make you a better listener. So next time you're at a party and someone accuses you of being a lush, just tell them you're working on your cocktail party effect. In conclusion, this effect is a pretty cool thing. Let's not get too carried away. After all, there's nothing more annoying than trying to have a conversation with someone who's only pretending to listen. So let's all raise a glass to the cocktail party effect. Let's also remember to use our powers for good, not evil. And just don't play Wonderwall. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Hey, all right. Thanks for joining me, everyone. It is April 12th, 2023. The cocktail party effect. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever analyzed that? I think it's a really interesting phenomenon, and I know that it's real. In a big group, lots of people are talking. You can focus on someone, maybe not in your circle, and you can actually hear what they're saying. It's pretty incredible what the mind can do when we concentrate on things, and also what happens when we don't concentrate on things. You know, I know that I am able to do this. I am able to focus on one person. But I'll tell you something that I'm not able to do. I'm not good at group conversations. I'm just not. It gets overwhelming to me because what I do is I focus on one person. And then if someone comes in with a different point and I'm not focused on that, I can't handle it. It's a little too much for me. I miss things in group conversations. I do much better one-on-one. And so that's just a little side note about me. But I know that most people are able to have conversations with big groups of people and they're able to follow everything. I don't know if they are or not. Maybe I'm the only honest one that says I can't follow it. That I can't follow all these different things happening at one time. Or maybe I'm the odd one out. I just can't do it. But anyway, that's the cocktail hour effect. And I hope you think about that next time you're at a happy hour or at a place where there's several conversations going on at the same time. See if you're able to focus on one of them. And I think it's a pretty cool superpower, don't you? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. We've got a interesting show today. I want to talk about a conflict that's going on over there in Armenia and Azerbaijan. Little conflict. I'll tell you about that. I want to tell you about the Darien Gap. And if you're like me, you didn't even know what the hell that was. But I will tell you about that. There's a new AI, artificial intelligence news anchor, and a lot of people don't have a problem with it. 800 TV channels, That's what's been introduced for free in one of the streaming services. That's too much for me. And lastly, I want to tell you about some good news, and that is solar panels along railroad tracks. Will that actually work? So we've got a number of stories to get to today. But first up, I'm going to grab my globe, and we're going to talk about a little conflict that's going on the other side of the planet. On Tuesday, Armenia and Azerbaijan's military forces clashed along their border, resulting in the deaths of at least 7 soldiers, according to the country's defense ministers. The clash occurred near the Lakan Corridor, the only road that connects Armenia with Nagorno-Karabakh, an ethnic Armenian enclave in Azerbaijan. The conflict arose after months of tension over the blockage of this road, which has led to food shortages. Armenia and Azerbaijan have conflicting accounts of who opened fire first, but the incident highlights the fragile nature of the Russia-brokered truce that ended 6 weeks of intense fighting in 2020. Got my foot pedal in the wrong place. Here we go. So I should just bring up the globe. Do you all know where Azerbaijan and Armenia are? Well, if you just go over to Russia, you look to Ukraine, you look down to Turkey, across the Black Sea, and then next to that, to the right of that, that's where we're talking about. North of Iran, east of Turkey, right in here. I know some people that have been to Azerbaijan and Armenia, and I see a lot of Armenians online. Yerevan, I guess, is the capital there. Lots of people from Yerevan that I've been running to online, which is kind of incredible, But I just wanted to highlight this corridor here, so you notice that part of Azerbaijan is a little island away from the rest of Azerbaijan, most of it. And to get to it, they have one little tiny corridor that goes through Armenia. And you can see that this is probably would lead to some problems, just by design. If you have one little area that's set off to the side that, your citizens can't get back and forth to their country, you can see that just by nature that this would add to some conflict. I don't know a whole lot about this area. I don't know a whole lot about this conflict, but what I wanted to do is bring it up to you so that you can familiarize yourself with where Armenia and Azerbaijan are, so in case if this gets bigger and you hear people talking about it, that you'll know generally what part of the planet that we're talking about. I find geography really, really interesting. I know a lot of people don't. But being able to at least know what part of the planet a country is, that's a good first step. And now let's go to some other geography that we have, and that is the Darien Gap. The United States, Panama, and Colombia have announced a 60-day campaign to halt illegal migration through the Darien Gap. Where the flow of migrants has multiplied this year, the plan also include investment to reduce poverty and create jobs in the Colombian and Panamanian border communities. Migrant arrivals at the U.S. border could become unmanageable if the pandemic-related rule that suspended rights to seek asylum for many ends in May. More than 87,000 migrants crossed the Darien Gap in the first 3 months of this year, up from 14,000 migrants during the entire period a year earlier. So this is the Darien Gap, right there, right down at the very end of Panama to the Colombian border. And I did not know this. I grew up thinking that there was a Pan-American highway. That's what I had thought, that we had a highway. I was in Albuquerque, and I-25, they called that the Pan-American Freeway. And I just assumed that it went all the way down through the U.S., into Mexico, through Central America, to South America. That's what I had assumed. It's called the Pan American Freeway. No, there's actually no road that goes through the Darien Gap. It is an area of jungle. It's about 60 miles with no roads whatsoever. Kind of crazy. I mean, look at this picture here of some people trekking it through the jungle. One other alternative that you can do is they have ferries that will pick people up in Colombia and ferry them past the Darien Gap. But of course that costs money. And if you're one of these economic migrants that's fleeing Venezuela, for example, or you're Haitian, I know that a lot of Haitians took boats to South America and then walked all the way over and then up Central America to the U.S. Didn't have money, for the ferries, so they just had to trek through the jungles. And apparently it's lawless, and there's lots of murder and crime and all kinds of terrible things there. Let me show you just a little tiny clip of what it is like there. I mean, can you imagine trekking through this jungle? Oh no. What happened? Just making sure that I am still connected. So that's a crazy trek through the jungle there. But have you heard of the Darien Gap? I'd never heard of it until I was looking at this story yesterday about this. And now you know, it's jungle, 60 miles of it, that separate Panama and Colombia. Actually, it's in Panama, but it's right on the Colombian border. All right. Sorry, just got signed out of my account, which is not good. Signed out of my account as I'm live streaming, so I'm just trying to make sure that I'm still there. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, we're cruising. How's the chat doing? We got some chat happening. Again, I was able to fix the Rumble chat, but obviously you see I got some issues there. Got to work on that. Anyway, I'll be going through all of the chat in the after show after I play the outro music. But next, let me get to an interesting story. I have some thoughts about it. AI generated news. Will that replace me? A Kuwaiti media outlet affiliated with Kuwait Times has introduced an AI-generated news anchor named Feta to read news bulletins on their Twitter account, which has 1.2 million subscribers. The move is an attempt to test AI's potential to offer new and innovative content. Feta may eventually develop a Kuwaiti accent, and the outlet is looking at the possibility of using her for TV broadcasts. China's state news agency had introduced its own virtual presenter in 2018. So here is a picture of Feta, and was not able to get the audio, but let me see if I can get the just video of this AI chatting here. Obviously, she's speaking in Arabic, so I'm not able to judge how how good she sounds in Arabic, as I don't know Arabic. But very interesting that she's a blonde, pretty blonde lady, in that they're using that in Kuwait rather than someone that looks like they're from Kuwait. But what do I know? They're trying out something different on Twitter. I have a prediction about this AI stuff. I don't think that the masses will care. That's my prediction. I think that the masses will just go along with it. If there's someone they like and it turns out that it's AI, they'll watch it anyway. Now, for me, I'd rather see a real human being. That's would be my preference. And that may be your preference as well, to get something personal, to get someone that's flawed, not to get a computer reading the news to you. But I think that most people are okay with it. It's kind of like, they have the filters now in the Snapchat and TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. And some people use the filters so much, they never even post photos of themselves anymore. Of themselves. They post the photos that have been heavily filtered, which I find really weird. I find it weird. Maybe I'm just too old for it. But I don't want to post photos with, that have, I don't know, taken out some of the crow's feet and, made my teeth whiter or something, given myself. Now, I would like it if a filter to give myself a little thicker eyebrows, because my eyebrows are very thin. But I find it odd that people post photos that are heavily edited with these filters. But it appears that most people, young people today, that's what they do. And so I don't think it's that far a step that, we're just going to be watching avatars read the news. And after avatars read the news, who knows? Maybe we'll have fake actors in sitcoms. What will be real? Who knows? But that's my prediction, that I think that this will probably take off, that this will probably actually be a thing. It's disappointing to me. I don't want that to happen. I want to watch real people read off teleprompters. That's maybe I'm old school like that. What do you think? Do you think my prediction will be true or not? Let me know in the comments. And now, speaking of TV news and lots of channels, I got some interesting thing coming up from Google TV. Google is adding over 800 free channels to its Google TV software on the Chromecast streaming device and select TVs from Sony, CL, and Philips. The new channels are a combination of several existing free TV services and will be added to the Live tab when users can find content from channels such as NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox. This move is aimed at differentiating Google's streaming interface with its competitors, including Roku, Apple, and Amazon, and could help attract more users to Google's platform. The service is currently launching in the US and will be available on all Google TV devices. So, do you have Google TV? Have you checked this out? 800 channels is too many for me. I know that Roku is, I think, teamed up with Pluto or something like that, and they have a couple hundred channels. That's what I have in my living room, and I never really find anything I want there. I don't like searching channels. I think I'd rather just get on my laptop, search for a show, find out where it is, and then go watch it. I'm not big into the endless scroll, although that I know a lot of people do that. They just keep scrolling, hoping that something will appear. Quantity does not equal quality. And if you say you got 800 free channels, there's probably 795 of them I really don't care about. But that's me. But this is an interesting development. It's hard to think why you would pay for cable TV, though, anymore. Because if you're into cooking shows or you're in, whatever you're into, you're going to be able to find it on these free TV services. Now, I understand if you want to watch live sports, sometimes the only way to find that is on ESPN or other cable TV channels. But the cost of cable TV has gone up so much. I suspect that more and more people will be cutting the cord to cable TV and moving over to some of this free TV services that are offered. Perhaps. What do I know? I've never been big into paying for TV, and I don't see myself changing in the future on that. But let me know, have you checked out Google TV, and what is the best channel that you found on Google TV? Let me know in the comments. And lastly, I want to get to some good news. Swiss startup unveils plans to install solar panels between train tracks in a bid to boost Europe's solar energy production. The firm is waiting for approval from the Federal Office of Transport to install panels near Butz Station. Estimates suggest that the Swiss National Railway network could generate more than 1 terawatt hour of energy from the panels, which could equate to 2% of the country's gross annual consumption. Sunways believes that 50% of the world's railways could be equipped with their solar panel system. However, the proposal has faced pushback from concerns about the reflection of sunlight and potential damage from dust and debris. So this is the idea. You got these railways that are just going everywhere. What if we dropped solar panels between the rails? It's an interesting idea. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Now, it was interesting in researching this article. I did find out that solar does account for a little over 5% of energy in Switzerland, which is a lot more than I would have suspected. But I see a lot of issues with that. I'm not sold on this, but I'm optimistic that something like this can work. Solar has been getting better over the years. And they're not really using that space in the railroad. So to have a dual purpose might be a good idea. The other thing is that it could have, maintenance robots along the rails that could ride out and maintain all of the solar panels between train runs. You could have maintenance cars go out there. So it would be much easier to keep up the maintenance on these solar panels than if they were just out in the middle of nowhere. Interesting idea. I'm rooting for it. I'm not sure that this will, I'm not sold on it. However, sometimes you have to try something so that you can learn and do better next time. And so if that's the case here, I applaud them for trying something new so that they can improve on it for the future. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know in the comments. That's all I have for you today. I will be reading your comments in the after show. And I will see you mañana. Until then, peace. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining. We got couple of comments up. Still working on the spacing. Still working on trying to get that to look right. Over on Rumble, we got a couple people. Thanks, Miranda, for over there. Shared and liked. I appreciate that. Duggo says hello. Duggo says, corporate news, NPC talking heads, or AI bots, is there really that much of a difference? Not really. I totally get your point there. There's not much of a difference, but I don't know. Do we have to replace humans? Do we have to do that? Can't we have some real people doing things? I don't want to be in a world where I'm just surrounded by avatars anywhere and we don't even know who's real and who's not anymore. So I'm not a big fan, but I suspect that most people won't care. That's my guess. Hope I'm wrong. Okay, what's happening over on the YouTubes? Just listen to Brett Cooper talk about Kuwaiti coffee shop closing in Portland. I'm not sure about that coffee shop, but a lot of things are closing. That's what's going on. Raise your cups. Thank you. Why do we call these drink cocktails? Why does a rooster's butt feathers have to do with mixed drinks? I don't know the origin of cocktail. What's Wonderwall? Wonderwall was probably the biggest song in the 90s. And it's by Oasis. They're a British band that essentially, I love Oasis, by the way, but essentially they were, what if the Beatles kept making music? It's kind of what it sounded like to me. But Wonderwall was a huge hit, and because it's fairly easy to play, it became a meme that's often a lot of people's first song that they would learn on guitar. And so there's been a meme of someone showing up at a party and he hits the first chord and everybody knows that it's Wonderwall. As soon as you hear that chord, you know what the song is. And it's become a running gag of people showing up to like a house party and wanting to play Wonderwall. So that was my joke. All my references are not, they don't hit with everyone. It made me chuckle, but Perhaps not you. But then, what do egg cups have to do with mixed drinks? I don't know. Tom pulls a globe out. Having a globe on hand is a sign of genius. Oh, thank you. You know, I meant to pull out the globe for Colombia and Panama, too. Exactly where we were there. But I know you can't really see it on the globe. It just kind of amuses me. Most of Armenia is not in the nation of Armenia, but in Turkey. Okay. Let's see. Shot glasses look like egg cups. I don't even know what an egg cup is. So, Tom was talking about ferries moving people here and there. Okay. It's really a jungle out there, but Wow, AI is taking over fast. It really is. Lucid Moment says, you're irreplaceable, Tom. I appreciate that. It would be nice if AI offered a shrill mode so you can hear it better outside or while vacuuming. Okay, that would be funny. They're coming for your job, Tom. Well, the definition of a job is something that you do that you wouldn't do unless you were getting paid, right? That's kind of a definition of a job. And well, in both cases, I like doing this and I'm not getting paid. So this isn't really a job, but I would like it to be. But I'm just doing this for fun. Or dead movie stars in new films, Cary Grant. Yeah. AI won't have a good as taste in clothing as Tom. Well, thank you. You know, this is a fun Aloha shirt, but the thing is, you know, whoever programs the AI could come up with thousands of different Aloha shirts. So, Doug says he stopped watching TV altogether. Okay. Lucid Moment says, I'd rather be lied to by a real person. I would too. We kind of feel like there's a little accountability if it's a real person. 800 channels I'm not going to watch. Exactly. Miranda says, I have Roku and Pluto. So do I. Hundreds of channels I don't watch. I only watch... Erie Ferry says, I only watch specific shows I have, like on Amazon Prime. It's rare. My number one hobby is reading. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I heard it's something that people used to do. Solar panels between tracks seems like a bad idea. It kind of sounds like a bad idea to me as well. You would think that they wouldn't really be safe there, that, you know, rocks could get caught up and fly in it, and I don't know, but we'll have to see. The local res has street lights, each with their own panel to power it. You know, I've seen that for a long time in New Mexico, right? We had a lot of solar power, and there were many highway signs. You drive from Albuquerque to Las Cruces. Some of the highway signs, to light up the highway signs, they wouldn't have any electricity there, and they would have a solar panel so that they could light up the sign at night. So, you know, things like that work. I was collecting books that had the word blue in the title, otherwise fiction, classic, really like Tolstoy and Dostoevsky. You got to choose. You're either a Tolstoy person or a Dostoevsky person. You must choose. Those are the rules. Wow, there really are a lot of books with blue in the title. I have about 100 blue books. Well, this blue stuff is all new to me. I've never considered that. I've never looked into it. Anyway, that's what I have today. I'm still figuring out how to get the chat to appear better. I'm still figuring out how to post this as a podcast and to be able to keep the live chat in it. So, still working on it. When the podcast does go live, though, I think it gets reposted on YouTube. So if you're around, you see it get reposted, do me a favor and jump on it and click like if you can. Perhaps that makes a difference. Maybe it doesn't. And I did want to say, apparently on Rumble, the video does a whole lot better if I just let the entire live thing sit there. I think that platform is pushing live content more than recorded videos. So the show will remain as it is on Rumble. And lastly, I know everyone's kind of forgot about BitChute, but every video I do is also posted on BitChute. And we're getting a lot more views on BitChute than we are on YouTube. So that's quite funny. But that is a good backup channel that you can always check out. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you all have a glorious, glorious Wednesday. And I will be back tomorrow with another show. Until then, peace.